Ladies and gentlemen,
boys and girls, children of all ages, trying to bring to you sports entertainment tonight.
Sports entertainment tonight. My name is Nick Fuquay.
I'm Mark Trahan II.
Yes, and we are the wrestling talk show of Acadiana,
Yep.
the #1 wrestling talk show in Acadiana.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're the only one, actually. But oh, we got smushed and now we're back, 10 times stronger.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, like the Hulk, brother. Oh, yeah. We got our little adrenaline shot there for the day.
Yep.
We want to welcome all of you to the show. Another edition of Sports Entertainment Tonight. We've got to be in syndication at this point, you know. We've done a few of these.
Yeah,
at this
4
point.
parishes, I think.
You know?
Kenya Parish, Abria Parish, Lafayette. Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, and we probably have as many viewers as we do shows, you know. So it is what it is, you know. Hey, we appreciate the 50 to 100 of you coming out.
And October 22nd, we're having a big time interview.
Mark your calendars.
October 22nd, Art Cruz is he was in Mid-South, wrestled in Portland. Wrestled the Greats, like one of you and Shawn Michaels' first.
Ooh, his
first match ever in professional wrestling.
Wow, so like to a certain degree, he popped Shawn Michaels' wrestling cherry.
Yep.
Yes.
He wrestled against Roddy Piper, Harley Race, Ric Flair. Woo!
Woo! Yes.
And he in a tag team with Rick Rude before he was Rick Rude.
So it's going to be a big show, you know, because we get the big stars here on Sports Entertainment.
Yeah, and
tonight.
He knows all the people. He knows Dutch Mantel, Dirty, Jeb Cutler, and he's good. He still talks to Ted DiBiase, Madonna Man. Maybe he might try to get us indoors to maybe get interviews with the guys.
Right, without a doubt, and that's what we want is the foot in the door.
And he has an awesome book. He's gonna get it and stuff and let you read it. I will read it first and let you read it. And it was a very.
You can give me the cliff notes, of course.
Yep. And I'm so really, really excited for him to be on the show.
Yeah, of course.
Mid-South was big over here.
So, Mark, when is that going to be? That's 2 weeks from today, right?
Yeah, October 22nd.
Well, that would be 3 weeks from today.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks from today. Mark your calendars, folks. We're going to continue on our Hell in a Cell build-up here.
Yep.
So, that's going to be part of it, So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and like you said last week, you said Kane's always main event, Hell in a Cell.
Right, because it's Halloween season, so things got to get woo spooky, Yes. So we've got a lot of WWE stuff to talk about.
Yep.
Some NXT to talk about. And we've even got calls from the local wrestling promoters because they're like, man, your show is awesome.
Yeah.
And they want us to get involved as we do, because Mark, does backstage interviews, he does commentary, camera work, and I've been doing a lot of the ring announcing and some of the commentary.
The best.
Could
be the next Joe Gortner.
What can you do, when you got, two faces like these, and two voices that can fill the masses with wrestling energy.
And knowledge.
You're fired. Yes. So, you know how we do our first 5 minutes of sports entertainment tonight.
No.
Usually we're kind of like, whoo, all over the place, But it is what it is. We got to get settled in, We're on television here, folks.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about SmackDown, NXT, all that good stuff.
All the good stuff.
And the rumors.
And we had gotten on a little kick where we were showing some of the local matches. Folks, don't get mad at us. We've got some more coming for you. Coming soon. And we're working, right in line with Sir Billy Boudreaux, who is the voice of Mid-South Wrestling and Gulf Coast Wrestling. Yes. So, needless to say, he is a wrestling genius.
And it takes a while to edit, You want to be the best way to do it, and it takes a while,
Right. So, you stay tuned. Watch Sports Entertainment Tonight every single week. Call in on the line, 366-8950, anytime you'd like. If you want to call in, give your thoughts on local wrestling, find out some information from us. If you want to call in, give your thoughts on what's been going on in the WWE, NXT, or even Hell in a Cell, some of your predictions, and some news, or any other wrestling promotion you want to talk about. Hey.
Yeah, we can talk about TNA. It's really bad. Ring of Honor, or New Japan.
Yeah, but that's good stuff. So let's just jump right on into it, Mark.
Yeah,
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. They're 7 by Seth Rollins. It's pretty much the last. He's the champion, and he's been doing all the opening segments of Raw.
Right, so we finally got a break from an Authority or Seth Rollins opening promo of Raw. And it turns out it's John Cena.
Yeah, you can't see me.
You can't see him.
And
you
the
cannot.
And the U.S. champion, U.S. Open.
Yeah, so, and I mean, I think that was one of the things they were missing on TV whenever John Cena lost the title for a month, was John Cena's U.S. Open challenges, because they've been kind of the best part of Raw, since he won the title. Because it adds a little bit of excitement. Title matches are good for ratings.
It is.
McMahon's crying about his ratings right now on Monday Night Raw, and he's telling a lot of people, "You're fired." And so, needless to say, what can we do, to get our ratings up? Well, let's have some more title matches.
Yeah, you can't bring back the Attitude Era or Roots of Progression era.
Well, they did a lot of the title matches during that era, and hey, they were having 7s and 8s as ratings, and it was the #1 show on television. So hey, I mean.
But now a lot of people do DVR,
Yeah, I believe that it has a lot to do with the ratings, because I don't necessarily think it calculates like in all the YouTube watches, the Hulu watches, because I mean I watch it on Hulu from time to time, so it is what it is. So we're back to our U.S. Open Challenge, which adds a little bit of excitement, especially when you have a match to open up Monday Night Raw. But we did get a little bit of promo back and forth action, because it was the New Day.
New Day.
New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Yeah, it used to be sucks, but now they rock because they're very entertaining.
Yeah, it was trombone.
Yeah, and it turns out your boy Xavier Woods comes out with his trombone, doing his thing, and making fun. He was doing John Cena's music, actually. But these dudes are pretty funny when they're on camera. They're kind of getting in their element, and I think it's honestly because the WWE is giving them some leeway to just go do what they want. Because they've had success. Once you have a little success, they kind of let the rope loose, and you get to do what you want.
Yeah.
So, but that kind of was good. But it turned out to kind of be a 3-on-1 encounter, because New Day, is
3 guys,
right. But the ref wasn't having it. So what happened, Mark?
I think was it like was it Biggie Langston?
Yeah, well, he ended up like spearing Cena or something like that through the through the thing. So it was Xavier Woods, actually. But New Day actually had to be banned from the ring. Where we were getting to that, I suppose. But Cena said, whenever New Day was making jokes like, "Hey, you better get serious, or you're gonna get your you can't see me whipped," So in our U.S. title match, we had John Cena, Xavier Woods. A good way to open up Raw with a title match. And honestly, I thought it could have almost even been the main event, But it is what it is. Good match. Xavier Woods has improved in the ring.
He's a good wrestler. He's just, needed to get better with his personality and.
Well, I think he's got that down.
Yeah.
Maybe, if anything, he probably needs to get what he's got in the ring down. And I thought he was a lot better than what he was whenever he was like the Funkadactyl or whatever,
The Funkadactyl, he was just Xavier Woods.
Well, he stole Brodus Clay's, gimmick, whenever he first started. But I was impressed. And if you don't know Xavier Woods, this guy's almost finished with his PhD.
Were you very impressed that he could have been U.S. champion?
I didn't think for a second he had a chance at winning the title, and it turns out that it ended up being a foil anyways, because it ended up, true Teddy Long style player. Yeah, 6-man tag, because we had a little bit of once John Cena pretty much had Xavier Woods beat. New Day Came in for the run-in and pretty much broke everything up.
DQ.
And 3-on-1. But who's here to save the day?
The Dudley boy.
Dudleys!
Testify, my brother.
Testify, Devon! Get the tables! What? So, pretty much, as we said, player, 6-man tag. Six-man tag, player.
Teddy Long.
Woo! That was where we saw the Big E spear.
Yeah, Big E spear.
Which was a pretty good spot. Big E spearing John Cena.
Barricade?
Off the side of the ropes, pretty much like onto the thing. Good spot. And then we got an opportunity to see the Waza.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler last
week got it, But as they did that, though, there was a little bit of a distraction. Kofi got his Trouble in Paradise, and boom, 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 boom. New Day rocks, and they get the win.
Yep.
So, I'm looking for that feud to kind of continue along, the Dudleys versus New Day. Do you think the Dudleys are going to be able to take the titles off of New Day?
Maybe Survivor Series.
Survivor Series?
Yeah.
So you think this feud's going to maybe go on a month or so?
Yep. It needs to, It's been a while since the Dudleys are back, and they need to have like a feud with someone first, and just put the New Day over,
I agree.
I agree.
That was my Dudley. I agree. Right? Dudleys! So we kind of see this backstage segment kind of going on through Raw with Kane, who's kind of got this new character that we're all digging.
He's a multi-personality Kane.
Multi-personality Kane, we dig it. And I guess part of him is like the chippery, good employee, and
the other one is Demon Kane with the mask.
Demon Kane with the mask, here to raise hell.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess kind of what was going on is they have a HR representative, giving Kane a performance evaluation. And so Kane's just like, hey, okay, let me give you a tour, all right.
Yeah.
And all the while, Demon Kane is kind of his alter ego is raising hell.
Yeah,
so I mean, I like it. It's the first time Kane's been interesting since Team Hell No.
Relevant since Team Hell No, or like a really good storyline that pretty much brings him back into the fold.
Right, I agree 100%. So this girl, Ashley or whatever, is his HR counselor or whatever, because somebody has made a complaint against Kane and
Seth Rollins.
So they kind of continued that story on throughout the night, which if you ever notice kind of like the format of Raw, they always have that opening segment, and then there's always kind of like one or two backstage segments going on throughout the night, and then they kind of just sprinkle in some interviews between each segment. Oftentimes they show videos just to kill like 15, 20 minutes of time, just to get it to the next hour,
But like we were talking, they had less, segments, going through it. It wasn't like...
Right, and that's one of the things that I was mentioning that I did like about Raw this week. Usually it's only about 10 to 11 segments, the entire show for 3 hours, so that's maybe, 3 to 4 segments an hour.
Yeah, it's pretty much the whole show segments.
Right, well, in this show they had 15. So, I mean, it was a lot of different stuff and just move on to different stuff, which, hey, it's an ADD nation. You got to move on. You got to move on. You can't stay on one thing. We got to change the channel. Our attention spans can't handle it. So they had that going on throughout the night. Next, we see a match that probably would have been pretty awesome in like 1995. Mark Henry versus Big Show.
Yeah, like, who won?
Yeah, well, basically they're putting over the Big Show right now. Well, it's the Big Show. And Big Show is going up against Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate.
Beast incarnate.
Brock Lesnar. So they're trying to put over Big Show right now. I don't think anybody in the crowd is having it. People are just like, okay, we're tired of you, Big Show. We get it.
Retire. And he gets all mad because people tell him.
And, I mean, I don't necessarily think that's the Big Show's fault. Because he's just been putting over people so many years. It's just like, okay, you're a giant that loses all the time.
He's a veteran, he's been there since, '99. A lot of people are like, I like Big Show. Love Big Show, but it's just that he's becoming irrelevant. But it's not his fault though.
Right. I mean, like, what's his WrestleMania record? I think like 1-8 or something like that. You know, I mean, like, he never wins.
Yeah,
he
poor
never
guy,
wins any big match. So there's no reason to believe that he stands anything of a chance
But
against Brock Lesnar.
He did really awesome. He did really a awesome promo with Paul Heyman. Though, like, Paul Heyman's pretty much looked like he was impressed.
Right, and they've hyped the matches about as good as they could do with the opponent that they have.
I was impressed with Big Show. A lot of people say, man, Big Show's...
He's been showing some fire, and he's pretty aggravated with the crowd saying, please retire, and honestly, I mean, I don't think it would take that much of booking or writing a Big Show to be a dominant giant again, because he's so mad. But, just with his changing his character back and forth, you don't know who he is.
Yeah.
He always loses matches.
Yeah. Just make him, like, powerful, like, make him a giant.
Make him a giant.
Like, if people want him to retire, WWE should just let him, be like before he retires, let him be a giant,
I agree.
Be the unbeatable giant, right before, like, he really does retire.
Yes. So, needless to say, we have that to look forward to on Saturday night, which, as of right now, they've really only announced 2 matches.
Yeah, the Brock Lesnar versus Big Show, and what else?
It's New Day versus the Dudleys in a tag team title match. But they were saying it was going to be somewhat similar to the Beast in the East show. And it's only going to show a few matches from the entire card in Madison Square Garden.
It's pretty much like a house show, like they go on.
It's a house show. Yeah. That's all it is. And I think it's a great idea to start showing house shows. In the biggest cities in the world, at least. They went to Tokyo. Now they're in New York. They can go to Los Angeles. They can go to wherever.
Back when they had Madison Square Garden Network,
that's where the WWE made their name, is in Madison Square Garden.
They used to play it on cable, the house shows, like until like 96, 97.
Sure. And I mean, I think we are going to probably see a Divas match, possibly like a Team BAD versus PCB or something.
I don't know about PCB is what happened during Raw. I don't think PCB is together anymore.
Which, yes, we are actually getting right to that segment because Miz TV was next. And Miz had special guests, Charlotte and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, and guess who came out and, spoiled the segment was Paige.
Well, and everybody knew that was coming, which, of course, Paige got the biggest pop out of everybody. And, of course, if you were wondering what we're talking about as far as pop, then... Oh, is that a call? No, it's not, because I just turned the volume up. But hey, if you want to call, 366-8950. So, as we were saying, I actually kind of thought it was funny the way that the ladies were treating Miz before, Paige even came out there.
Maybe he deserves it.
Like they threw his mic away.
Maybe he deserves it.
Yeah, well, it's a good way for Miz to get heat. I think Miz is best behind the microphone. He's a good wrestler. He's improved. He's very over as a heel.
Yeah, when you're a heel, you don't have to be a good wrestler. That's the point.
Sure, you cheat, But he's been kind of playing the cowardish heel.
Yeah. And it works for him.
It does, and I think the WWE honestly can't fit everybody on the card. So some people wrestle a couple months, take a couple months off, at least on the big show, on pay-per-views. They probably wrestle all the house shows.
That's why they had the Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and WrestleMania.
And they put them on main event and superstars, because if you're not on the pay-per-view, they're not going to have you on Raw unless you're putting somebody over. So needless to say, that kind of the Bellas interfered first. They were saying they started the revolution. Paige interfered, and they kind of all were bickering, and it led to a brawl with the Bellas. And Team PCB ended up having a match with the Bellas, and that led to a match. So, I don't know, who do you think started the Divas Revolution, Mark?
I think it's like pretty much everybody. Pretty much like probably Paige. But I think it's all of them pretty much started the Divas Revolution.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say Paige was the first NXT champion or women's champion. The NXT women's division was what I believe started the women's revolution and started people actually talking about wanting to see decent wrestling from the women. Because before, nobody really cared. That was our bathroom break.
Yeah.
You know, and
Like,
we used to like it when they had like Lita and Trish Stratus and stuff.
A lot of people I talked to interviewers like Sasha Banks, the NXT interview panel. She said, we want y'all to, wrestle like divas. And she was like, okay, but I want to wrestle like a woman or a woman's wrestler.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And, they want to be women's wrestlers as opposed to divas.
Yeah, like
so
they don't want to
speak.
do like brawls and panty matches and pillow fight matches.
All right, gimmick matches.
Yeah, gimmick matches. They want to be real.
And they actually want to be able to wrestle, which is important.
Be hot, but know how to wrestle.
Be hot, but know how to wrestle. That should be the requirement. Which, speaking of which, I haven't seen Eva Marie around here lately. So I wonder if, like, her matches were kind of a tryout to see if she's ready. But I don't think she was. Based on my opinion, she just looks so nervous and green in the ring.
Yeah. And she needs to improve, it takes a while, it's...
Oh, come on, yeah, she's only been in, like, training for about, 3 or 4 months, so... I mean, you're not going to be, somebody awesome overnight, like a Shawn Michaels or whatever.
Yeah, it takes a lot of patience and, got to do baby steps before you...
Right. But kind of where we're going with this Divas feud right now, which, as we mentioned, Paige is getting more cheers than anybody because she basically called everybody out on their crap, saying, hey, Charlotte, and the only reason you're getting pushed is because your dad.
Daughter, yeah.
Right. Bella's the only reason you're getting pushed is because of who you're married to or you're dating.
Yeah.
You're
dating, and Becky Lynch, relative in your indie and internet darling.
And Natalia hadn't even been there, and so she kind of just been hating on everybody. But it was kind of like a pipe bomb for her, or the Paige bomb is what they're calling it.
People
so
pretty much cheered because it's kind of true a little bit.
Yeah, but it was kind of a weird ending. I guess Paige left in the middle of the match because she was mad at her teammates, which we saw coming. But then Nat came out almost like as if she was going to replace Paige, and that kind of made Paige mad. And so she kind of took out Natalia, and that distracted Charlotte, which led to a roll-up by Nikki Bella. Ooh, roll up! Ah! The writers loved their roll-ups.
Yep.
Miss. But they didn't have that many on Monday.
I think maybe Hell in a Cell is going to be Paige, Nikki Bella, and Charlotte. I think that's going to be
I would like to see it. However, Nikki Bella deserves her one-on-one title match first. And you know what? They really are kind of setting the stage for Natalya to be involved in this as well.
Yeah.
So I could possibly see Nikki Bella maybe getting her rematch at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Maybe even at Hell in a Cell. Then at Survivor Series, you can have the Fatal 4-Way for the Divas title. So I like where the direction it's going, and it wasn't going to happen overnight because, some of the NXT talent doesn't necessarily have the chemistry with the, main roster talent. So, and they're just starting to work together in the last few months, and they're starting
That's
to
the best way
get
to
it.
do it, You get to learn from the main roster and, you get used to wrestling the main roster because when you go there, you won't be afraid to wrestle them.
Oh, definitely. And I think where the WWE is going with this is they eventually want Charlotte to be feuding with Sasha Banks, as the Divas main event.
But they're both,
They want NXT main events on the WWE roster.
And they should do that. They should do it for the guys, the main eventers, and the girls.
I
think they should do it the first hour, then do the segments for like the first.
I think if it ever gets good enough, the Divas deserve their own show. And of course they would film it right before a SmackDown, but it could be an hour-long show that they do on, the WWE network,
And one day, like, NXT's would be 2 hours probably.
Well, who knows, depending on how big it expands. Because it kind of moves in waves because, once NXT gets really hot, then the WWE will be like, I want them, I want them, I want them. Take their whole roster.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty much dead in NXT.
And I mean, NXT is basically trying to do a recovery right now, in my opinion, just because they've had so many people zapped from their roster.
And pretty much like if they wouldn't have took NXT, the people from NXT to WWE, I think NXT would have done better in WWE now.
And it's true. And I mean, if you look at it, what have they done with those people that are in NXT? You know, I mean, Neville's on a bottom card feud with the Stardust and Ascension. You know, that's like not getting any attention or storyline, which we're going to get to that match here in a second. You know, who else? Kevin Owens, your Intercontinental title. You know, Triple H is good buddies with him.
But I think he's a good Intercontinental champion.
I agree. The Ascension is jobbing. Who else has come up from NXT, you know, here lately?
Bo Dallas.
You know, the Lucha Dragons, Bo Dallas. You know, they're not doing anything really. You know, so it's like Adam Rose. You know, they would have been much better served staying in NXT and gaining more momentum. You know,
but they wanted to get the main roster, or they thought they were ready. I think they were ready. It's just that they didn't push.
It's different for each one. You know.
But I think the WWE didn't push. They're pushing in their character, one way, and they thought their character was getting stale, and they stopped caring about the character. Like, I think Adam Rose is a good example. They were really pushing Adam Rose, and he almost became a jobber because they didn't really believe in his.
Well, it's a comedy act, you know, and comedy acts will always only last a few months.
Unless you're really, really funny and you do it the right way.
Well, yeah, unless you are genuinely funny as a person. If it's just a gimmick, it won't last, you know. But needless to say, that kind of takes us, well, no, we're not quite there yet. So we finished with that. Kind of going to our backstage segment, Seth Rollins talking to this HR person about Kane. And then Kane gives them a gift. Gives Seth Rollins a gift of the statue, his head of his statue.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Nothing! Absolutely nothing! From UHF. Next, we have a tag team match. Primetime players who were former tag team champions like a month or so ago. Yep. Going against Luke Harper and Braun Strowman. They stood no chance against these two beasts from the swamps. The Wyatts pretty much dominated the match, and it ended out with Braun Strowman choking out the primetime players.
Yeah, and I think the next series will be, I hope, is the Dudley Boys against Harper and Strowman for the tag team championship.
If the Dudley Boys are able to take them off of New Day, I think that would be a great feud for them. And they haven't necessarily even pushed Harper and Strowman as a tag team yet. They're still kind of pushing them as, Bray Wyatt's henchmen.
Yeah, like it's pretty much like the Ravens flock,
Right, kind of. But they haven't been as much of a tag team as Eric Rowan and Luke Harper were, right?
But who's better, Strowman or Rowan?
Well, the way they've been booked, Braun Strowman by far. Yeah. He looks unstoppable. And with that kind of push, I mean, it's gonna take John Cena to kill his, I
like what people said about about the Wyatt family. They should have got Damien Sandow should have became one part of the Wyatt family.
Yeah, it's possible. Even though he's so over with the crowd right now, and I almost think it is a better idea to have somebody new in the Wyatt family, because you can't say, "Well, they used to be that," and then people wouldn't believe it. So next we have Stardust and Neville. We were just talking about them, and these two have kind of been relegated to like a bottom of the barrel feud.
But they're trying to do like a good guy, a superhero against the villain.
And that's a great concept, but they've, number one, been overusing it. It's been going on since SummerSlam with the Green Arrow. Yeah. And not only have they been kind of overusing it, and that it's like on every single, they wrestle every single Raw and every single SmackDown. Yeah. But it just gets no storyline. And they don't really tell any kind of comic book stories to go with it, that make it seem cool.
Like why Stardust trying to fight Neville.
And it's just like, why can't they give Stardust and the Ascension, chance. Just because I think it had potential to be really cool, and they should build up, their 6-man tag division, and have some trios. Get some people on the card.
Yeah, they're the henchmen.
Why not?
And the back.
But the surprise in this match, after a Red Arrow attempt, was King Barrett coming back.
I've heard I got some bad news.
I'm afraid I got some bad news. I'm back and I'm still the king.
Still the king, boring.
Yeah, still the king.
Boring.
Okay, all right.
Boring.
Wake me up when you're bad news Barrett again.
Yeah.
So King Barrett came out bullhammered. Neville bullhammered Stardust. He's mad at Stardust because the two tag teamed together at SummerSlam, and pretty much
Stardust did the cosmic.
he took out Bray Wyatt. Not Bray Wyatt. I'm blanking here. He took out Bad News Barrett. So Bad News Barrett wanted some revenge.
Revenge.
That's bollocks.
Bollocks.
So that's kind of maybe where they're going with that. I don't know if they're trying to turn somebody babyface or what with that, or they're just throwing him in there with
Probably throwing him
something
to do a feud.
Well, change it up a little bit, because as we mentioned, it was starting to get a little stale.
Yeah.
Especially because they weren't telling any new stories, which is what we want to see in wrestling. Randy Orton's back. He went against Bo Dallas. Randy Orton.
Bully disc, RKO.
Yeah, holy crap. Bo Dallas, man. Former NXT champion, but has not really done much on the roster.
He needs this. My idea for Bo Dallas, he needs to do something with his character, make it more,
Make him a Wyatt.
Yeah.
Because he's really Bray Wyatt's brother.
Yeah. You can't grow a beard that good there.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I've seen him with the goatee before.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Which, like you said, he would probably make a good Sister Abigail.
But they can't do that. I don't know.
Which I saw a picture, of the sister, and she does kind of look similar to Bo Dallas. Like a girl Bo Dallas.
Yep.
But I believe she will eventually become the Sister Abigail.
And it's in her blood, her grandpa was Black Jack Mulligan, her uncle was Barry Windham, her dad's Mike Patton, IRS.
Right.
Yeah.
Next, we see our little report on Kane backstage. Breaking news. Basically, Seth Rollins coming in saying Kane is lying, and he shows
He's
all
lying.
these videos
He's lying.
of Kane raising hell and destruction.
Being the Demon Kane with the mask and stuff, and Kane's like, I don't remember doing that.
Right. Well, and then Seth Rollins said he's going to heaven, which I thought was a great line. I'm going to heaven. Kane is going to hell. But then Kane had his own little video to show that on Seth Rollins, and this is all going on in the ring at this point. And so he shows his little video on Seth Rollins, and then Ashley basically, she says Kane is good to go. Kane hasn't shown her anything that shows that he's a bad employee.
And maybe Seth Rollins deserves it. Well, he's getting to him.
Well, yeah, I guess so. So, which of course made Seth Rollins mad. He pushed Kane. Then pedigreed him, gave him some chair shots with, kind of woke up the demon.
He was in the ambulance, and he came out in the mask and straight up his leg or his.
So basically, Kane had his suit on. Underneath his suit was his wrestling trunks. So he took off his suit, threw on his mask right quick, put on his gloves right quick. They put on the smoke machine in the ambulance, and then he came out.
Yep, he was all limping, walking, and he. Like a Voss, he fixed his leg or ankle in place, and he went and get Seth Rollins and choke slam.
Pretty much. So he came out as the Demon Kane. Yeah. The chair shots weren't affecting him at all because, he's a beast. They're putting Kane over pretty good.
And he kind of deserves it. It's been a while since, like we said, since Team Hell No.
If they can do it for Kane, why can't they do it for Big Show? If they really want to, because nobody believes Big Show anymore. Yeah. And really nobody ever really believes Kane is going to win the title again either.
Yeah, the last time he won a title or it's been since 2012.
He won the Money in the Bank, I think 2010 or 11 or something. So we'll know it wasn't 2011 because that was the year of CM Punk. Even though he didn't win the Money in the Bank, I don't think he won the title that year from John Cena. Anyways, moving forward, as we mentioned, Randy Orton pretty much just destroyed Bo Dallas with the RKO. Next, we see Kevin Owens versus Rusev, which ended in a no contest because it was pretty much a ploy to jump Ryback, who was on commentary.
Yeah, Ryback was doing commentary and just, bam, you ain't doing nothing, man.
Right, yeah. That's ultimately kind of how they handled the situation. Ryback and Kevin Owens are, I believe, scheduled to go against each other once again at Hell in a Cell. So this feud is going to continue. I'm enjoying it. I'm a fan of the Ryback. I'm also a fan of Fight Owens Fight Kevin Owens. So continuing. Which, by the way, we did see them jump Ryback, but who made the save? Your boy, Dolph Ziggler. Which, speaking of Ziggler, he kind of made some news, I guess, from Total Divas.
Yeah, he's sitting on Nikki Bella and was like, I love you.
I love you, Nikki Bella. Forget John Cena. I'll give you some babies.
I'll give you some babies, and she's like, call his real name. She's like, come on.
Which is Nick, by the way.
Yeah, Nick.
Hey.
Nick Namath. Maybe he's learned to Joe Namath.
Yeah.
But I guess it was scripted, and she was like, I'm with
I'm
John.
thinking it's scripted, but...
John, she's like a princess off. I was thinking like John Cena his theme song would be like and punching.
Well, and what I would like to see from the Total Divas is to actually make some angles, some wrestling angles off of the storylines on Total Divas. Yeah. For instance, have John Cena get really mad that Dolph Ziggler's hitting on Nikki, and they start a feud kind of together.
Yeah, but who's gonna be the bad guy, good guy?
It's kayfabe. The fans that cheer for Dolph Ziggler usually boo John Cena.
Yeah, and a lot of people like it's pretty much half and half with John Cena. Cena sucks. So let's go with John Cena.
And as you mentioned earlier, Mark, Paul Heyman actually came out. He hyped Brock Lesnar as he tends to do.
Calling out Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I am the advocate of Brock Lesnar. So he hyped the Heyman with the Lesnar Big Show match, and Big Show interrupted.
Big Show interrupted, and a pretty awesome promo. Like, every time I wrestle Brock Lesnar, I beat Brock Lesnar, and I'll put Brock Lesnar in his place. Or Brock Lesnar always had to use his whole 110% to fight me.
Oh, and it's true. I
brought out the best in Brock Lesnar.
And weren't those the two that broke the ring?
Yep.
Yeah. So. Hey, maybe we might see that again. That'd be cool. So I thought it did a good job of selling the match.
Me too.
At least
Paul Heyman could sell like, a ketchup bar to a woman with white gloves.
Ketchup popsicle to the woman in white gloves, right? Yes, indeed. In our main event of Monday Night Raw, we have Roman Reigns going against the Bray Wyatt. First off, Roman Reigns called the Wyatts a bunch of bitches, pretty much. Yeah. Bray Wyatt sent all his troops to the back. He wanted it to be one-on-one. One-on-one. And you know what? This really turned out to be a pretty awesome match, just because they were like going at it hardcore.
Because it's like they're trying to tell a story and say they hate each other, and I think they've wrestled so much. I think it's pretty much making better storytelling. And
they're trying to make them the yin and the yang of, like, the Stone Cold, The Rock, the future generation.
Triple H, The Rock,
Right, exactly. So they're trying to make that dynamic between the two of them, which is a great thing, in my opinion. But let's see. Basically, the match led to a brawl outside. There was a double count out. They ended up fighting into the crowd, so it was really a no count contest, double count out. But it was all about the brawl, because they kept on brawling out into the crowd. Bray Wyatt even speared. It wasn't kind of really a spear, just kind of like a tackle almost. Roman Reigns through the barricades, which is normally what Roman Reigns does to other people. Yep. And so that was a pretty good little thing, and that got the "This is awesome" chance. Then Roman Reigns speared Bray Wyatt through the announcer's table. So, and that's how Monday Night Raw went out the air. So it was like, holy crap, And what we see, SmackDown spoiler,
La 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 la
la la la la la, is that we are going to have one final match between Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, and it is going to be in hell! Hell in a Cell, baby. So they have 2 Hell in a Cell matches announced.
I think it'll be a great Hell in a Cell.
And usually they have the WWE title match in a cell. As of right now, they have 2 matches that aren't the WWE title matches in the cell.
But I think it's like.
But they're like 2 grudge matches.
Yeah, but I think it's the last match. You know, they're not trying to do gimmick after gimmick match. I think this is the last match of their feud.
Sure. So, and we're gonna get through our Hell in a Cell card. But as of right now, the 2 Hell in a Cell matches are Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
And Roman Reigns against Bray Wyatt. So that's pretty exciting stuff. You can still expect Kane and Seth Rollins to have a match as well. Whether or not it's in the cell, we will wait to see.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
championship match.
I think that would add an interesting dynamic with Kane being involved. You know, I mean, it could take him to hell. You know, kind of so to speak.
They could do another gimmick match. They could do like a last ride match. They could do like a Buried Alive match or a casket match.
Sure. Why not? Getting to your SmackDown spoilers. If you are wanting to watch football tonight, you know, and you want to maybe see if SmackDown's worth watching, well, check it out. Basically, in SmackDown tonight.
Bray Wyatt against Roman Reigns in a rematch before.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy. Yeah, where are you reading that from? Oh, that was Raw. So, SmackDown. Don't call me while I'm doing the TV show, people. Come on.
People.
Call me here. Call me 366-8950. That's my number on Thursdays from 6 to 6:55 p.m. So, which, you know, you can't hate me because I'm fabulous, you know. So, anyways, SmackDown spoilers. So we open up with Seth Rollins calling out Kane. So we have at least some of the title match, you know, taking part in SmackDown, which SmackDown is so often unwatchable because it's just like nothing's going on.
Yeah,
really.
it's the B show. Or now
It's the C show, you know.
Yeah.
And but this week it seems as though they actually have some decent, important stuff that actually is going to make it in the little video promos to sell the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what makes it worth watching. So Seth Rollins calls out Kane. Kane pretty much books the main event. Seth Rollins only agreed that if Corporate Kane would watch Demon Kane wrestle the match. You know, so we'll see kind of what happens in our main event there. Team BAD went against the Bellas. Pretty much, Sasha Banks continues to build her name by taking the Nikki Bella out with the bank statement.
Yep.
Ryback against Kevin Owens, which is kind of odd to have on SmackDown, but it ended up a disqualification.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens walking off, which is kind of something he's been doing to get heat.
Yeah, to get heat and just say, like, you know, he's a coward and chicken.
Well, he's the champion right now.
And
so
he has a story, you know, it's like he's going.
He picks his
losing,
battle and he fights on his own terms, you know. So, and you know, people like Kevin Owens. He is believable.
Yep.
Let's see, the Luchas and Neville versus the Cosmic Wasteland. As we mentioned, every single night, these guys are going at it, you know. So, and there's just never any storyline to go around with it. It's just matches. You know, it's just matches. Yeah. So, you know, tell us more of a story with this,
like,
because they have so much potential to have a cool story. You know, so, come on. Bray Wyatt promo on Roman Reigns, and that's where they announced the Hell in a Cell match. Yeah. Then next, we see the Dudley Boys versus New Day and Seth Rollins. It was supposed to be the Dudley Boys and Kane against the New Day and Seth Rollins. However, the Demon Kane did not show up because Corporate Kane was there. Obviously, can't be both places, you know, unless they find a Kane lookalike. Which you never know, they might have one.
Maybe Luke Gallows.
Yeah, who knows? But Corporate Kane, he was ringside. which Seth Rollins accidentally ended up running into him apparently.
Ooh.
And so Kane has to go backstage, because he's hurt, and then ends up coming out as Demon Kane and takes out everybody.
Yep, and that's the end of the.
So to me, seems like a watchable, and entertaining kind of match for SmackDown. So I will check it out probably on Hulu tomorrow. So let's kind of switch gears here.
Switch.
Let's go NXT.
NXT.
Little NXT review from last night. First off, in our tag team, Dusty Rhodes tag team tournament.
Enzo Amore and Big Cass. SAWFT.
So, bada boom, the realest guys in the room.
Bada boom, bada bing, the realest guys in the room.
Yep.
And against Finn Balor and Samoa Joe.
Good match, I thought.
And we're pretty much right about Samoa Joe and Finn Balor won. And
Which
I think they might
brings them to the semifinals.
I think they're going to win.
Well, we will see. We will definitely see. But the Muscle Buster coup de grace combo kind of took Enzo and Cass, who I'm a fan of. And eventually they will be on the main roster because they are entertaining enough.
Maybe the next New Age Outlaws.
Maybe so. Then next we see Johnny Gargano and Apollo Crews, which apparently these two have a history together. They've been friends for about 5 years and wrestling together on the indie level. Holy crap, good match.
Yeah.
And I've been impressed with Apollo Crews.
You don't think they messed up him for being a jobber?
Who's that? Gargano?
Yeah, Gargano.
Well, he hasn't been a jobber. Him and his teammate, the Tommaso guy, they beat Tyler Breeze. And they've had some really tough matches. They're just earning their keep right now.
Yeah.
They don't have much of a personality, but they're good wrestlers. And basically this guy, Johnny Gargano, goes as Johnny Wrestling. And he's a darn good wrestler. He was very entertaining. He was stayed on him. He wasn't all rest moves and stuff.
Apollo Crews is an awesome wrestler also.
Apollo Crews is very impressive as well, and they're giving him a major push.
Yeah.
So, I can see kind of where they're going with this.
But you think he could be a good star in WWE?
Surely. The WWE needs as many, African American, future heavyweight possibilities as they can get because they need their first one,
Yeah.
Big E Langston maybe one day.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't see Mark Henry ever really have any more shots.
He won the World Heavyweight Championship.
All right, as far as the world title though, the WWE title, they need somebody. Just because it's modern times.
Yep.
But next they have a tag team match. Dana Brooke and Emma versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, which one little note I made of this is that Peyton Royce took a pretty nasty little spill. I can't remember if it was Peyton Royce or Billie Kay. She tried jumping off the rope and slipped, and ouch. But the cameras kind of didn't
really show it. Yeah.
Didn't really show it, so they were able to edit it out as much as they could. But Dana Brooke and Emma got the win. Which, of course, Dana Brooke was talking smack, and she's got herself a match against Asuka.
Yeah, don't talk, crap with Regal. Regal pretty much
put you in a match that you're going to get your butt whooped.
Yep, and I think it's really awesome. A lot of people are going to be really, really going to love, what's her name? Asuka a lot.
Right, and we're about to talk about our NXT TakeOver event here in a second. But in our main event of NXT last night, we saw Tommaso Ciampa versus Tyler Breeze, who Tyler Breeze is right now, he's kind of frustrated in that he hasn't really gotten a push, so he's mad at Apollo Crews because he's getting a push.
Yep.
Tyler Breeze has kind of been stuck in the NXT mid-card, losing title matches, so he just can't get that next level.
I think it would be awesome for you, Apollo Crews, and you could say something about Apollo Crews is ugly and stuff.
Well, and you know what? I thought that Tyler Breeze really came out last night, which, of course, they probably taped this a couple weeks ago. But I thought he came out last night with a lot of intensity. He broke out a couple new moves because that's been my biggest, qualm with Tyler Breeze. He's not that great of a wrestler. He doesn't have, he's the 5 moves of doom, pretty much. He doesn't have that many moves. He does a lot of rest moves, and then he just takes you out with the little beauty shot. Last night, he debuted a new finishing move. Which was kind of like, what was Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy's move? Was the Twist of Fate? Yeah. So it's kind of similar to the Twist of Fate. But I liked it. It was a step in the right direction for Tyler Breeze for me, because otherwise he's just a gimmick. But it was pretty good. And then they basically closed off NXT with a video to sell the Bayley and Sasha Banks match, which is going to be your main event at NXT Respect
30-minute
next week on Wednesday. So that is going to be a 30-minute
Iron Woman match.
An Iron Woman match.
NXT Women's Championship.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome because
it's going to be the first time the Divas actually main event a pay-per-view in history.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they deserve it.
Yeah,
If you haven't watched NXT yet, folks, these women are taking down the house. They're having some of the best matches of the night, each show. But who do you think walks home with the title in this one? Bayley versus Sasha Banks? Bayley. I agree 100% because Sasha Banks has got bigger and better things to do. She's the boss.
Main roster.
So Bayley, and I think Bayley's going to have a great title reign.
Yeah.
From what I hear, Bayley just has an energy about her, and the fans connect to her.
And she's a good wrestler.
Oh my gosh, the kids love her. She's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
So
She's very over.
She is very over, and the WWE will make money off of Bayley. So I like Bayley as well. I think it ends up being maybe 3 matches to 2, 4 to 3, something like that. So we'll see.
Sudden death.
So we also will see the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament semifinal matches and the finals. So we're going to have 3 matches as part of that. So the first match is going to be Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, as you mentioned, against Dash and Dawson. Which, they are trying to put over Dash and Dawson as a major tag team. They did defeat the NXT Tag Team Champions, Blake and Murphy. So that is rather interesting there. So, it could be an interesting dynamic. And the other match is going to be Baron Corbin and Rhino against Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. So it's like, is the WWE or NXT going to go with the old faithful and Finn and Samoa Joe, Corbin and Rhino, going with the old successes, or are they going to try and put over some of these young talent to get to the finals?
Maybe put over the young talent.
You think they put over the young talent?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, for me, I think Baron Corbin and Rhino make it to the finals.
Against Finn Balor
and Samoa Joe.
Yeah, mix some storylines.
And I think they'll mix storylines from there. I think possibly we will see Finn versus Corbin, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin at the NXT London, or possibly Finn versus Samoa Joe, which I think could sell out the house in London. So I'm really almost kind of looking for Finn and Samoa Joe to kind of butt heads in the finals.
Yeah. And Samoa Joe makes a really good.
He makes a good heel,
yeah.
Right? And then that will lead Baron Corbin and Rhino to win the tag team Dusty Rhodes finals.
Dusty Rhodes, rest in peace.
Yes, indeed. So then we'll have the debut of Asuka against Dana Brooks.
And she's going to wipe Dana Brooks on the floor.
You are so correct about that, and I am definitely looking forward to Asuka, who is touted as one of the best female wrestlers in the world. As in her NXT debut. And then finally, as we were mentioning, Tyler Breeze versus Apollo Crews.
Yep.
And do you like Apollo Crews?
Yeah, I think so.
I like Apollo Crews.
Pretty against Braun. I think he could make a good rivalry and feud. He could be like, it'd be like a hair versus hair match, or like.
Which Apollo Crews is bald, but.
Yeah, or just do like a something.
A gimmick match. Yeah. I got you. So look forward to NXT Respect, TakeOver Respect next week. There's only the one title match, which I thought was interesting. Where's the tag titles, and of course Finn Balor, your world champion, is involved in the tag tournament. Yeah. So, but I thought they should have. I guess it's just they didn't want to tag overload it, So, let's quickly. We only got a couple minutes left, folks. So we're gonna just kind of talk about Hell in a Cell for a second. Just kind of go through the card of what we have so far.
Main event, for SummerSlam, WrestleMania, is Brock Lesnar against Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. Undertaker is famous for Hell in a Cell.
Which, Undertaker 15 years ago was famous for Hell in a Cell. Hopefully they don't do any big stunts with 50-year-old Undertaker.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. In fact, we've had pretty boring Hell in a Cell matches the last couple of years.
And it's pretty much the PG era, or like.
It's the PG Hell, so PG Hell, that's my new band name.
But they had one with Ambrose and Rollins did some spots.
Right. So next we have Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt also, as we mentioned, in the Hell in a Cell matches, which as we get a little bit closer to Hell in a Cell, which is at the end of October, we will give you our predictions. Right now we're just kind of giving you the card of what we know. In our WWE title match, we most likely will see Seth Rollins against Kane. I'm guessing in some type of, gimmicky type casket, buried alive, something like that type match. Intercontinental title, we probably will see Kevin Owens, have his rematch against Ryback for the Intercontinental title. The tag team titles, we'll probably see New Day against the Dudley Boys. The Divas match, not really sure where they're going with this one yet. It's looking like it's going to be Charlotte versus Nikki, but somewhere Paige and Natalya might get involved in there. Also, we will have another Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. I'm looking for Lana to turn on Dolph Ziggler this time. John Cena versus who? Who's a good person?
They want Heath Slater.
Heath Slater, really? Nobody believes that. They need to find somebody good for John Cena to go against. Then they'll probably do something again with the Neville Luchas and Cosmic Wasteland. They're probably going to do something with Orton and Ambrose and Wyatt and Big Show and all them. But basically, that's what's going on in the world of wrestling, Acadiana. My name is Nick Fuquay.
I'm Mark Trahan.
This is Sports Entertainment. Tonight we're blowing up, baby! Yeah!